It's time for Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. Live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Beautiful Saturday afternoon. Nice and sunny. Some nice winter weather, finally. My name is Alex Escobar, along here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Enjoying this nice breezy day and expecting some callers. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. Give us a call at 210-308-8867.
Well,
so you're as bad as Milton on this, declaring this a beautiful day, huh?
Absolutely, yes.
No, actually, I appreciate
nice.
it. It's for a winter day, this is perfect. Cool enough to know it's a winter, but not cold enough to destroy our gardens or even challenge our gardens. Basically, a lot of action still out there in the gardens.
Well, the sun changes everything. If it was cloudy and windy like it is now, it wouldn't be such a nice day. Yeah, but that sun does change everything.
When I took the dog out to walk, and I was certainly introduced to the wind when I started facing west. Oh, it was a little cool early this morning. But it was good. Well, our column in the Express News today is about the other wildlife.
Yes.
A lot of action, a lot of wildlife action out there.
I've had a lot of calls, a lot of reports on the things that you were seeing. Coyotes and skunks, caracaras. So they're all out there right now.
Yeah. I had somebody ask me about fox. There's a lot of fox in neighborhoods now, and they're saying, I couldn't believe it. It looked like a fox, but it was up in a tree.
Yeah.
And I said, well, they're definitely climbers. The gray fox are amazing climbers. It's kind of like a raccoon up there. In fact, I've had them in the same tree, big oak tree, one side a raccoon and one side a fox up there. So it's pretty fascinating. If you do a little survey of what wildlife is in your neighborhood, it brings home the claim that this is a great place for wildlife, including the birds and other wildlife too. And so, a lot of action. And we've gotten a good response already from the article on wildlife. Everybody has, of course, not everybody is fond of all those animals.
That's wonderful.
Either.
Yeah. Oh, I saw armadillo yesterday.
Oh, did you?
It didn't survive. It tried to cross the road, and it didn't survive. But I was like, I hadn't seen an armadillo in a long time.
I haven't either.
This is in Hill Country Village, and it's a little bit more wild there, so a little bit more untamed. I hadn't seen one for a while, but there it was, in the middle of the road. A vulture was keeping it company.
Well, one of the issues too is with the threat of rabies. You got to be aware, especially. Well, let's see, the skunks, the fox, coyotes
They've all been,
even raccoons too.
diagnosed. I think all 4 of those have been diagnosed in the last 6 to 7 months.
Now, I probably should have put it in the article, but when I wrote the article, I wasn't familiar with the process. But I saw a raccoon was middle of the afternoon was crawling up in one of my bird baths after water, and it really looked like it was ill. It was kind of thin and everything, and of course, Tilly, my Westie, couldn't resist chasing it away. But then the next morning, there it was, a dead body in my front, by my front gate, and so I became aware. The newspaper has done a good job and so has the other media, good job of keeping us informed about the rabies threat. And so I called the city number, the 311, and they referred me to one of the city offices, and so they sent out, told me, put it by the curb, the body.
Right.
Be careful and put it by the curb. First thing they asked was if my pets had rabies shots, and good news was they did. So they didn't see much of a real problem. They said, well, don't put it in the garbage can. But they put it out there, and so they picked it up. And you can, sometimes they will take a test if it appears to be threatened, or if if it was aggressive or anything, or if you want to pay for a test. Right. I think it's like $40. But they got a lot of provisions, and they're pretty careful and give you good information about rabies. But that's one of the reasons we don't. Remember, in the old days, Mark, we would capture in the live trap raccoons, and I even had a neighbor that she was notorious for capturing skunk and not getting sprayed. But now you don't want to be transporting those species to another neighborhood, because you don't know what it's one dangerous body from your neighborhood to another neighborhood.
Well, that was think about that. Those are all really good signs that it may have had rabies. It was in the daylight. It was emaciated. It looked shrunken, and it was looking for water. Those are all signs of rabies. So that was probably a good idea to call.
It was not. It was not aggressive, which was.
Which
surprising.
It's not a sign. They usually, if they have rabies, they are aggressive.
Yeah. But another thing, though, that coyotes. Well, I guess this is a symptom or a natural situation with our drought status. The coyotes have taken a interest in my irrigation system, and I've paid twice to have it repaired. They dig up the drip irrigation, chew it up. I guess they get access to water. Either that or they're just plain ornery. Or they're having a good time. I don't know. But that's, I know quite often people ask about, well, what animal was it that tore apart my irrigation system? Coyotes will do it. Raccoons occasionally will do it. And even rats will do it.
Yeah.
They're usually not as much of a. They don't leave as much of a calling card as the coyotes do, but the rats will damage the irrigation too. And now with the new meters, the saws quickly lets you know when your irrigation pattern is
generally
changed.
48 hours, if not sooner. They'll give you a call or a text. They like texting. They'll give you a little call or text and saying, "Hey, we've seen something abnormal." And
Yeah, take
go ahead
a
and check.
here's what to look for. Quite often they'll tell you. So it's an interesting situation.
Yeah, just to go through that in my years of experience with saws, we used to think it was always toilets, but it's not always toilets. Actually, if you have a water softener, check that. Have a professional come in and check that. Make sure it's not unlimited regeneration, that it's only once or twice a week where it regenerates the soft water. Some of the older ones, they would constantly regenerate it. Well, all that water then goes down the drain, and then they're regenerated again. So watch for that. Toilets, leaks, and leaks in the irrigation. Those are the three big ones.
Yeah, and especially if you I keep getting notices that your house is 88 years old, and I think my irrigation systems are close to that age too. So they're when you have your irrigation system redone that many times, you can expect some leaks.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very difficult to find where they are.
But if you need assistance in that, Saws has a free service where they'll send out a consultant. Now, this is for irrigation. Well, we used to do indoors too, but primarily we're irrigation now. To look at and help you go through the whole system and look for all the leaks. So that's very nice. You just call 704-SAVE, and you get directly to the conservation department.
And that's a free consultation?
That's a free consultation. We call it consultation, not a... well, the irrigation has a special... Irrigation industry has a special audit.
Audit.
It's not an audit. We call it a consultation. And just a trained professional will come in and go through the irrigation system and possibly suggest maybe a reduction of times or an elimination of a zone that's not really watering anything. And then again, we have a rebate for that. So.
And that's not unusual to have a irrigation system that's not at its full potential efficiency. I'm sure it's the same, but Mark, when I was there, 20 years ago, they like 70% of the irrigation systems in San Antonio, even with our water conservation success, 70% of them were not operating at their most efficient manner.
And that is even worse for commercial. It was even worse for commercial. But yeah, it's when you install in-ground irrigation, it's always a question. It's not if it fails; it's when, because it will fail. And so you're paying for convenience, not necessarily for high efficiency. The best way to water a plant is always by hose in hand. But then again, I'm not out there trying to do the vegetable garden as well, so that could be a little problematic. And then we like to do the drip for large plantings and especially vegetables.
Yeah, I think if the drip irrigation is used the way it should be used and it's maintained as it should be maintained, that's an excellent water conservation mechanism. Now, not everybody agrees with me, but I think it is, and it's certainly a wonderful way to take care of your plants. Yeah, of course, it's not. You can't just turn it on in the middle of summer. You got to work with it and have it start it relatively early in the system, so that in the season, so that you develop the root system to make them efficiently to use the drip irrigation. Back to the wildlife, one of the most interesting wildlife species has been the reaction to the caracaras. I guess they must be in a lot of neighborhoods now.
Yeah, moving up. It was rare to see one 20 years ago. And, thank you. It was rare, but you see him quite often now.
Yeah,
I mean, not like every day, but yeah, maybe.
Oh, yes, you do every day if you're in the medical center.
Well, yeah, your house, yeah. But I'm just saying, driving around, I don't see him. The
pair that lives in our area raised 2 young this year too, successfully. So that was kind of interesting. But they have an interesting relationship with particularly the vultures and the coyotes too. But the caracaras are usually if your neighborhood has a lot of deer, and they're getting hit by the cars, which they are quite often when they're in rutting and there's a large number of them and a lot of traffic. The first visit to the body is usually a caracara, and they do the initial ripping apart, and then all the other vultures they're circling around. They move in as soon as
it is kind of humorous in a way. There's a whole big flock of black off to the side, and the caracara is alone on top of the carcass.
Yeah,
feeding it. Yeah,
move aside. Let the experts start this.
But it is kind of a hierarchy. It is kind of fun to watch.
The kind of messing that up though is when the coyotes get involved, because they're competing for those bodies, those deer that get hit, especially when right after they get hit. They're just amazing. You'd swear there's no coyotes in your neighborhood, and a deer gets hit by a car, and the next thing you know, there's a pair of them. They're competing for that body, when they're this year they've been especially bold out in late morning and out in early evening.
Yeah, did we have a caller? Talking about the coyotes were dragging the carcass off. And,
there was a
very vocal.
Yeah, in my neighborhood, there was an incident like that at 8:30 in the morning, and the competition between the vultures and the pair of coyotes was just amazing to watch. In fact, the coyotes finally gave up when all the neighbors in their cars were parked along there watching the action. This is too much. I'm bold, but I'm not bold enough to sit here with 7 cars or people are watching. They're trying to drag the carcass into the bamboo area. And the vultures were just persistent, just like Mark says, that mass was blocking the way and slowing down the process, and the coyote would chase them away, and then the other part of the mass would move in on the body. It was fascinating. I didn't know who I was most sympathetic to, the coyotes or the vultures.
Not the carcass.
No,
not the carcass.
Now that is a different kind of issue, because if you're a gardener, you can get kind of impatient with deer, because the deer are more of a threat to your plants than the coyotes are and the vultures are.
Mm-hmm.
But once they're hit by a car and done for. But yeah, you're right. That's another sympathy, potential sympathy. A lot of deer out there, and then when they're in the rutting area time, they're running around and getting hit by cars quite often. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Is it break time?
Just about. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. Let us know what wildlife stories you have around your neighborhood. We'll be right back with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas, on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas, on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. We're located off of Loop 1604 and Boulevardy Road. Bye.
We had a visit from our favorite golden lab, Parker, or yellow lab, golden retriever, yellow lab.
We were talking about wildlife. I'm more in the city, so not too much coyotes or things like that, but we do have the occasional possums and squirrels that are around our neighborhood, and of course stray cats and stray dogs.
Oh yeah,
that's what we're dealing with.
That's our wildlife too. I lived down in Southtown, Lavaca neighborhood. We used to have a gray fox wandering around, but we haven't seen him for a while.
But Parker's dad and mom were reporting that they see quite a few armadillos. That which surprised me.
Oh, yeah, because when I had said it, you expressed surprise, and I hadn't seen one for a while. But they see it quite often.
Yeah, they do. They do. Then they say they do a lot of damage digging. It's kind of like the hogs,
So if they're digging, there's always two ways to think about that. I try to make the lemonade out of lemons. So if they're digging, just like skunks, that means they're eating up all the grubs and other subterranean wildlife. So that's good. It's a good thing. They're taking care of it. Now they are messing up everything, but they're taking care of it. You don't have to worry about that then. Now,
Jerry used to talk about, he was plagued by armadillos, and he used to talk about it was relatively easy to capture them, 2 a.m., and they used the same route in and out of your yard all the time. So they didn't respond to bait well in a live trap, but they went through that same path. So you just put that live trap in the...
Yeah, that or even a simple trash can. Just head right into the bottom of it. And there you go.
Then what do you do? Yeah.
Well,
that's always the issue. What is the best way to treat with that situation? Now, some of them, though, like the raccoons, sometimes you can take them 6 blocks away, and they'll still find a way back.
Yes. Even miles.
Yeah, but of course that's not. I think it may even be against the law now, but it's not the best situation in terms of fair treatment to other neighborhoods, and also the dealing with the threat of animal diseases, especially rabies.
Absolutely. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Calvin, is there anything else in your article?
The thing that came to my attention was that when the phone started ringing this morning very early, that I had mentioned that we had already scheduled the rodeo tomato classes. And the first class is on February 21st here at Millburgers at 10:30 in the morning. And then the second class is February 28th at the Education Resource Center over by Medical Center. And the gardeners have already started to sign up for the class. And we generally, everybody that attends and pre-registers generally get a free rodeo tomato potted up. And of course the idea there is it's too early to plant tomatoes in your garden, but it's if you want to get access to one of your favorite varieties or the new rodeo tomato, then you want to get them early because it's not unusual for them to get taken up by everybody. And so you pot them up, and then you keep them in the full sun, out of the wind, and move them into protection when it's below 40 degrees. But that's the story of the class will be about spring gardening and the rodeo tomatoes. But again, to register, the phone number was incorrect in the article for the Millburgers, but the gardeners have managed to get the right number. What is our number?
I was going to say, what is the right number?
The right number to call will be 210-497-3760. 210-497-3760. This is the number to Millburgers.
Yeah.
And that's the number you call to pre-register for that class.
That's right.
The class is February 21st.
Yeah, and that's scheduled for February 21st. And first 35 folks that reserve a spot will get a free potted up tomato. And, of course, fertilized with Osmocote and with the soil, potting soil from the mixes here at Millburgers. And then on the 28th, you call the number 210-382-4455, and that's what's in the article. And there you reserve a spot. That starts at 10 a.m. It's over there by the medical center area. And another 35 slots available.
So if all those spots are available, can you still attend the lecture, but you just won't receive the...
Yes, you can. We make a point of inviting everybody. If you're not pre-registered, one of the 35 pre-registered, you technically would not be eligible to get the free plant. But some of the folks don't. If some of the folks don't attend, there's a few plants, and we always manage to have a few extra too. So we encourage everybody, even more than the 35, to go ahead and come and participate in the lecture. And so far, we've done it for 4 years, I think. So far, we've managed to make sure everybody that has attended, that has wanted a potted up rodeo tomato, gets one. So that's what it's about. And then, of course, we'll talk about the spring gardening in general, because it's time. That'll be time again already.
Yes, as they say, the juices will be flowing to be able to get out in the garden. And we'll have a lot of plants here available, as well as the tomato plants. But right now, what should we be planting in the garden?
Well,
what do you think?
Right now, of course, the onions, you want to get those in the garden. And you can still plant broccoli transplants. It's not too late. And it's almost time for potatoes.
Right. You said in this week in the garden, you said it's a little too early to plant potatoes.
Did you? Do we have the seed potatoes yet?
Oh, yeah. I was supposed to look before I got out here, but I was delayed.
Now, what we got to do is Milton used to make a tattoo on Mark, so that he would remember what he was going to check
on my forehead. So when I look in the mirror in the morning, oh yeah.
I don't think they're here yet, but they will be. And gosh, last year they were outstanding seed potatoes. And there were some reds, some whites, couple varieties of each.
Yeah, and as I said before, the big potatoes don't do as well here. We're more suited for kind of the medium-sized ones, and that's good.
Well, and we target new potatoes too. They're not like I never recommend that the gardeners here in Texas grow. Well, maybe in the Panhandle they can, but they harvest relatively early. You can harvest the potatoes, start harvesting them as soon as the plants start blooming, and then you want to have them harvest all of them when the plants brown. You don't want to set them and leave them in the ground too long. But new potatoes, of course, they taste wonderful for new potatoes, but they're not huge. If you haven't tried that, it's a great exercise. You do have to dig a trench, or
either dig the trench or have a raised bed, but then you're gonna add more soil.
Yeah, you mound it.
You mound in it, which for some children that's a pleasure. They can just like pour dirt on top of the base of the plant, the potato plant, because that's
they
what
grow
the
fast too.
Yeah.
Then now we mentioned the onions. The onions are another interesting plant. Of course, we got 8 different varieties here that you can choose from, but the tops tip over when they're ready to be harvested. They let you know, and one of these bundles is generally enough to do 2.5 8-foot rows if you plant them every 4 inches, and then you can harvest new potatoes. In fact, you gotta figure out a lot of ways to use those new onions. I'm sorry, onions, so they can use up the excess ones in the row. But every dish, every noon dish and supper dish can have some fresh onions on it.
Yeah.
And then you
potatoes and onions. That's all you need. What more do you need?
Well, of course, and then the broccoli. A lot of our gardeners are harvesting Brussels sprouts now. Oh, I meant to bring you guys some big tomatoes too.
Yeah.
Tomatoes are I'll try to remember tomorrow. I think everybody, and with this cool weather, they don't want to turn orange. But if if they're full size, you take them into the house and on the counter, and they'll ripen pretty quickly. I mean, turn orange. They're ready to be used if you need to.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to make. Some fried green tomatoes, and you can use that. They're physiologically mature, and so you can use them. They're just not a beautiful red.
Okay.
And carrots are starting. And the Crawford lettuce finally, it's going strong. Milton, that's Alex. That's part of why we miss Milton, because he talked about Crawford lettuce all the time.
Really?
He accidentally got his to grow.
Let's be honest, it's kind of hard to kill. So then we'd like to torment Milton. Hi, Milton, if you're listening. Yes, so that's why we like to torment him a little bit, and it does. If you're not careful, sometimes it will spread. And a good year, it will spread.
Oh yeah. Well, you remember Steve Brown, the weatherman at KSAT. He had his Crawford lettuce had taken over the whole KSAT area there. Every crevice in the sidewalk and every walking on the grounds, there was Crawford lettuce everywhere. And Steve always harvested the seed. He had big paper sacks, and then he would just take off the top, the seed clusters there, and then anybody would come and say, "Yeah, Steve, I hear you really like that Crawford lettuce," and he says, "Well, let me get you some for you." And you'd give a handful of Crawford lettuce seed.
Alrighty.
Yeah. And we do have that at the cashier. You just ask, and they'll get you a little packet of seeds.
And it's still
a little pack will do you.
Still time to plant English peas and sweet peas, the flower. Mark, I always forget what the ones that you can eat.
Some of my favorites. So we have sugar snap and we have snow peas that we can eat the pods.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And we can do it right now.
Yeah,
now's a good time.
If you got grandkids or children, there's nothing more fun than to turn them loose on eating those pods. Besides being nutritious, they're very tasty and easy to grow and very attractive. So, sugar peas and what's the other? What the other one you mentioned?
Sugar snap.
Sugar snap.
Snow peas.
Snow peas, and sugar snap.
Yeah.
All right then. We're going to take another quick break. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. When we come back, we'll talk about what we have on sale here at Millburgers this week. We'll be back with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here, Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Just a reminder, you have until January 16th to bring on your Christmas trees if you still have them and receive a 20% off coupon. Again, you have until the 16th to receive a 20% off coupon to come and recycle your Christmas tree. That coupon's good until the end of February.
And just to remind everybody that the recycling is real. Millburgers uses has them chopped up those old Christmas trees and uses it in part of their potting up exercise and mulch and ground cover, and they'll take not just the trees that you bought from Millburgers, but if you got neighbors' trees, they'll take those, and you'll get another gift certificate for that. So you could just give your neighbor the gift certificate, or you could use it yourself. But it's a great way, and it's efficient and environmentally appropriate to use those Christmas. They still look good, those trees that come in.
They've taken in, they're sitting out in the back there. Yeah. They look good.
I still see some coming in and out through the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they look great.
Well, there you go. Those were the Nordman and Fraser. They retain their needles.
Nice fragrance.
Yes. Here at Millburgers this week, we have assorted drought-tolerant perennials on sale. Regularly $9.99, on sale for $6.88.
Does it list any, or does it just say the drought-tolerant perennials?
A variety of salvias, fall aster, and lantanas.
Which we have right in front of the porch here.
Yes.
So they're watering as we speak. So, they all look good.
Yes.
Those generally will freeze back in the wintertime, but they'll come back in the spring, and of course they're as the advertisement mentions, they're hot weather bloomers, and they're especially the lantanas are really a favorite of the pollinators. Well, some of the salvias too, pollinators in the fall. Now there's some of these.
I was going to say the plumbago.
Yeah, they look good. Foliage just looks lush, and then there's some of them have some pretty nice blooms on there. But of course, if you're looking for spectacular color. All you got to do is look over there at all those rows of cyclamen. Lots of the pinks, whites, and that combination pink and white color. And then the pansies are looking good, and the
violas,
yes.
yeah, lots of choice of yellow, purple, white violas, and the oranges too are very nice. They do very well in small containers in full sun.
And pansies and violas, they are on sale as well.
Oh,
4 for
really?
$5.
How about snaps? Are they on?
Snaps. I'm trying to see. Not that I'm seeing. And of course, we still have our pines on sale, 50% off. The Aleppo pines, 10-inch, and as well as the Italian stone pine on sale.
Mark, give us a little briefing on those pines again.
I was going to say, by the way, they're not 10-inch tall. They're in 10-inch
10-inch. 10-inch pots. Gotcha.
It always sounds funny when you say that. That's why I said it. Both of those are excellent pines. Both of those are excellent, adapted to our area. Originally, they come from droughty limestone, alkaline type soil, so they're very good here. One of the few pines that are very good here. So those are the Aleppo pine, and that's from Syria and southern Turkey, and then also the Italian stone pine, which is all around the Mediterranean, but known for being in Italy, particularly in Tuscany. So you see those pictures of Tuscany, you see those huge pines with kind of a flat top. That's an Italian stone pine.
Well, and you don't have to go very far to see what they look like when they get mature, those two pines, because some of the military bases here in San Antonio have a number of them that are growing. Aleppos for sure kind of have that classic straight pine look in a lot of situations, and then the Italian stones with the bulb kind of look.
Yeah, you see them at Fort Sam Houston a lot. If I can remember correctly, a lot on the parade ground in that central area in the Fort Sam Houston area. But if you just drive along 90 on the way to like Lackland and what was the old base? Do you remember? Kelly? There you go, Kelly. On the way to Kelly, you'll see here and there both Aleppo and Italian stone pine.
Yeah, they're as Mark relates, they're certainly capable of surviving our climate and our soil, which is not which is pretty unusual for pines and evergreens of any kind.
Very unusual.
Then, but Mark always quite often brings up the fact that the one evergreen that is consistently successful and is as close to a native as you could have for here is the Arizona cypress.
Right.
Well, we had about 4 different selections.
Yeah, we during the Christmas holidays we had 3 or 4 different sizes. We had actually one I think was a little bit more green, and that and you do find that in the Arizona cypress. You find them silver, very silver, and then you find some that are somewhat green as well,
and some with a kind of a bit of a red tinge. I don't remember how many years ago it was. It must have been 15 years ago that I got Arizona cypress as a living Christmas tree, and it's going strong, successful. I also got the Deodora cedar as a living Christmas tree too, and that's kind of cool looking. Looks a little bit like a spruce.
Yeah, blue spruce. Yeah, it certainly does.
And
it can't get large. That's the only thing. So on some people's lots, watch out over time. Usually far down the road.
Did we determined whether we have deodorants here? We used to.
So, yeah, we used to. So, again, that's another thing to tattoo on my forehead so I can see it.
Gotcha.
I'm supposed to ask Pete about potatoes and deodorant.
I know we had some
Or you can call in. Call into the show and
Absolutely.
remind me.
Call in at 210-308-8867 to remind Mark, 210-308-8867. I want to go back to drought resistance perennials and plants. Are there any, I guess, mistakes or issues that people may have with drought resistant plants? Is there an issue with either underwatering or overwatering them?
Oh, yeah. So a lot of people who think it's a native plant, they just put it in the ground and they go, oh, it's a native plant, it'll just grow.
It'll adapt or it'll, yeah.
You have to water consistently.
Which plant are we talking about?
Any kind of the native perennial, drought perennial like the salvias or the lantanas, some of the cufias here that we have. But a lot of people think that the native plants, all you have to do is just plant them in the ground and they'll grow. No, you need to consistently water. Not a lot of water, but first 5 to 6 weeks is generally what we say to get them actively growing. Then you can cut back, and if the weather conditions are correct, then you can stop watering them. But you probably, to make them look nice, every so often during the year, during drought periods, particularly extended drought periods, you're going to have to water them, even if they're native plants.
You know, one of the plants that watering is kind of a sensitive issue, and it's Texas mountain laurel. And what do you think, Mark? You think they're going to do a better job of blooming this year than they did that last spring?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had timely watering, timely precipitation throughout the year. Now, it wasn't like I would have liked it to be. It came all at once, maybe over a day or 2 days. But this past year, we were short 5 inches. But I look back month to month, and there were a lot of months we were low. But there were a lot of months, particularly in the spring, and a couple times in the summer that we had rain. So I think the mountain laurel are going to look good. We haven't had a lot of cold weather either, but just enough.
Well, that's one of the issues I bring up to folks that say, why didn't my Texas mountain laurel bloom this year? I say probably had something to do with the drought, but also that they're pretty drought tolerant.
Yeah.
But I think the timing of the freezes may have caught those buds unawares, because it was just such a consistent lack of blooms.
Yeah. Oh, no, everybody. No, I should say nobody had any mountain laurel blooming. It was extremely rare for a mountain laurel to be blooming this past year. I think the term we used last year over and over again was roller coaster weather. It was hot, and it was warm, and it was, cold, then it was hot, then it was cold. It was wet, and then it was dry, completely dry. So it was really roller coaster weather.
And it was especially challenging because the foliage looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of blame a combination of the erratic moisture, but also the timing of. I just suspect the timing of the freezes caught those buds, flower buds, when they were in a vulnerable state.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got one more hour here. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We'll be back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer.
Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867.
Let's remind everybody that if they are interested in the rodeo tomato classes that we've had, I think this is the fourth spring in a row that we've sponsored them. They're scheduled for February 21st here at Milberger's at 10:30 a.m. and then February 28th at Education Resource Center. We're at Medical Center. That one will be at 10 a.m. And the idea there is that we'll talk about the best varieties of tomatoes for growing here in the San Antonio area, and then we'll talk about how you can pot them up and protect them. It'll be too early to plant them in the garden, but quite often if you want to get the new varieties or your favorite varieties, and you want to take advantage of our short seasons. Our short tomato seasons, you have to beat the hot weather in the spring and you have to beat the cold in the fall, and so potting up is a common strategy that we talk about, and that's what the emphasis in the class. Anyhow, to register to participate in the Milberger's class, you call the Milberger's at area code 210-497-3760, and you register. And everybody that registers, the first 35 folks, will get a free potted up tomato. And then the second class, you call 210-382-4455, and that's at the Education Resource Center, and that's on the 28th. And if you want more information, the This Week in the Garden is there's a paragraph there about the potted up tomato classes. Now the phone number for Milberger's is incorrect.
In the paper, yeah.
In the paper.
Yeah.
But
it's not incorrect here. It was incorrect in the newspaper.
Yeah. And what did we say? It's the botanical garden phone number, I guess, rather than the. Almost looks like. Well, let's blame it on AI. Yeah.
Yes, let's do that.
The number from Milberger's to sign up for the class is 210-497-3760. The number to call us for Milberger's South Texas Gardening is 210-308-8867. We have David on the line. David, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we could hear you.
Good.
Go ahead.
Okay, I got a couple guava trees, and they get a little green fruit on them and a funny-looking bloom. And I know they're cold-hardy because when it got to 7 for those few days during the real cold slap, it didn't even phase them.
Wow.
And,
that's good because usually we say, they got to be protected when it gets down to 28. So you must have some really good ones.
What is?
Well,
It's pineapple guava is what we usually call it. Is that right? Is that what we had there? Kind of
it's got
has
a
pretty little
leaf.
flower.
Weird flower. It got a little leaf with the silver at the bottom of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard they were from Argentina or someplace. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've never protected them. They've always gone through every winter.
Well, that's good.
Oh.
You have some special one there because, we like to say that they do need some protection when it gets below or gets at 28. I remember they had a bunch on the Riverwalk, and over some time now, the Riverwalk, lots of times the cold will collect down there along the river, so those had to watch it with some of the tropicals. But they had 4 or 5, and I know that they're all gone now.
Okay, well, now that you told me that, they're probably going to die.
No. I was just going to say, keep it appropriately watered. But if it has survived down to 7, then maybe try to find a fruit for it, and maybe try to grow some more. It sounds like it's a good one.
That's what I'm calling about. How do you take a cutting and root it? Tried. I had 5 of them, and none of them worked.
I do not know exactly. I'm going to give you a guess. I'm going to say that you want semi-soft wood in April, May. Cut it and make the cutting at that time. Dip it in rooting hormone and grow it in pots. But it should be 4 inches long, 4 to 6 inches long. Take if it's a really new growth, and you want to remove that from the end, and just have last year's growth. But I'm guessing because of the type of plant it is and what we usually do for those types of plants.
Okay. So you take the tips of the branch, the softwood.
So you take last year's growth and use that. Try to get about 4 inches of growth and about a pencil. Or a little bit bigger.
Okay.
And then you're going to cut it. You want to get a node in there with a ring. So you're going to look for last year or the year before's growth. And then if you have any new growth, on this spring, if there's any new growth, then you want that removed. You want to just pinch it off.
Oh, okay. Well, I looked on the internet, and they said put it in an apple. I did that. That didn't work.
Put it in an apple? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why is so the ethylene that the apple is being produced as it ripens is supposed to start the hormonal process in the branch. That's the reason why.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah,
I got one more.
But I was going to say I think I would do it around April, May.
Okay.
Or September.
I got one more question. I had a John Fanix peach, and one of my renters came out there and cut it off at about 2 inches, and tried to hide the tree so I wouldn't find it. They'd think I'd notice it. But anyway, it's got coming from the rootstock. It's got about 10 things coming out. I got about 7, 8 different kinds of peaches out here, and I wanted to graft one on each one of those. And do I cut the rest of them off and just leave the ones that are grafted?
Well, I don't think. It was a John Fanix peach.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that it was grafted onto something.
Oh, yeah.
And if the top is taken off, then all those sprouts that you're seeing are rootstock sprouts.
That's right. That's why I wanted to graft onto the rootstock.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're a true John Fanix peach.
Yeah, it's no longer a John Fanix peach.
Yeah, I know. I'm not worried about the John Fanix part no more. I got like tropic snow, and I got 8 different kinds of peaches. I want to graft them all on there and see if any of them will grow.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that'll work.
The ones that don't have anything on, do I just cut those off?
No, it's kind of challenging to try to do 8 different ones. Well,
I was just going to do 3 or 4, but
yeah.
I got different ones.
Two or three is quite often possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're correct. Then the ones you do not graft, then you take those down to the trunk.
That's what I thought. But okay.
Now, do you know how to graft?
Well, I bought a little thing. You cut it, and it makes the cut, and then you cut the one that you're cutting off of the graft, and it matches it up. Then you put tape around it.
So it's like a grape, a grafter. So you cut one end, and then you cut the other, and it makes perfect union. Yeah, and then you put the tape around it.
Yeah, peaches are much easier than your pineapple guava, I think.
I think it is. It is going to be. So yes, the guava is going to be a little. Don't be discouraged.
Yeah, my son saw it and he thought they were beautiful. So
they are. They got nice bark and a beautiful little flower, a delicate little flower. So
they told me the flower tastes better than the fruit, but I've never had a fruit. I had lots of them, but they all end up on the ground. I don't know why. But.
If you got the space and the inclination. Try a Florida King peach. I've got
two of those already.
Oh, do you? Good. Okay.
Yeah. I got 11 acres, and I got 11 acres, and I'm trying to put a fruit tree on all of them.
Yeah.
I got apples, and I got which don't do.
Are you having any luck with apples?
Golden Delicious, Golden something. It gives me apples every year.
Wow, that's good. Yeah,
it's one of the ones.
You're doing very well.
Yeah, we usually do
the Einsheimer.
Yeah.
The Einsheimer's got to be 25 to 30 years old, and they're about the size of ping pong balls. And I fertilize and water, and they don't get any bigger. I don't know why.
Are they attractive?
Well, yeah, during the summer. Right now, they're not too attractive, but
yeah.
There was some issues when we were talking about those varieties that we recommend. The Einsheimer, Molly's Delicious, Golden Delicious, Gala, Anna. There was something later on that we found that they had to have similar. You had to have two different varieties, but similar times of the year for nice pollination. And I don't know. Do you remember what we were looking at?
It used to be Anna and Einsheimer that you do at the same time, but that may have been the problem. I don't remember if that was the problem too, or if that was the solution.
Okay. I was on the right track there. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I got a pink lady too. What is that?
I don't know that one yet.
That's one of the newer ones. I don't know any about these newer ones. So the crisp, the honey crisp, the pink lady. There's, I don't know, something delight. They're all new. They're all real fancy. You know what? I go to the store. I get an Empire or try to find Empire, Rome, Macintosh. Gale is probably about the only new one I ever go to. So. I look for old varieties. I'm an old person. I like old varieties.
I'm 70 years old. I'm no spring chicken either.
Anyway, I encourage you. So you said you had apple, peaches. What else?
Got a lot of pears. I get them pears the size of basketballs just about them. Kefir and Orient.
Yeah.
And then I got...
You're doing all you're getting all the varieties.
Amazing job.
Yeah.
And I've got a tropic storm, tropic snow. You ever heard of that one?
No. What is that? A pear?
It's a peach.
A peach. Okay.
Tropic snow. Man, that thing bears. I can't believe the first year I had it, it was loaded down, and every year since. But it's not a peachy peach; it's a white peach.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I know. Now you got to have the other one of my trilogy for here. Figs. Are you doing any figs?
I've got Celeste. My
Excellent.
brown turkey during the cold died on me. Tried to keep it alive, but the Celeste made it.
So the brown turkey passed, but
Yeah.
I heard something about that. Just rumors that saying that the brown turkey didn't handle the roller coaster weather like we had, like freeze drought. So
Yeah,
so
I
the
planted
Celeste,
five more Celeste.
okay, yeah,
And
and
they
then the everbearing one, Texas. Was it brown?
Texas Everbearing.
Yeah.
Celeste did pretty well.
Yeah, I like the Celeste, so I like the
Yeah, me
taste
too.
of the fruit.
Yeah. I have some plum trees, and I had them in the ground 15 years before they gave me anything. And then the last 2 years they were loaded down. Before that, I didn't get nothing.
Which ones?
Nestle and I got Arkansas Traveler or whatever that one is, Arkansas something or other. But it only gave me a few. What's the two mains? I don't remember.
I'm looking at my voluminous database here. All right, what do we got? So plum. Let's see. Milton Wallace, speaking to the microphone, Mark. Okay. Plum. Oh, where's my plum? Oh. You know what? They only talk about methley. But there's a couple other plums that are.
Well, my favorite was Morris, but you get a crop here in San Antonio about every 7 or 8 years, because the weather, it's pretty fussy on the weather. It looks nice and survives, but it's not very productive. It was in East Texas was easier to go. Yeah.
Right, I suddenly remember that. That was a more northern one. Northeastern one, I guess.
Gosh, they taste good, too.
The only fruit tree I'm having a lot of trouble with is the juju bees.
Uh-huh.
They say
Well,
they're
are
really
you trouble
tough,
growing them or keeping them from invading?
No, they don't grow very fast. I got one of them about 7 foot tall, and the other one's 4 foot.
Well, now, many people count that as a blessing because the jubies will grow from the roots, and they have been known to kind of spread around all over a cultivated area. So just
I
watch
didn't
it.
get that message.
Okay. Hey, it sounds like you're doing really, really well. You got all the varieties we recommend, so more power to you. Keep it up.
Okay, well, I appreciate y'all talking to me.
Yeah, well, give us a call every time it's convenient, too.
We like talking to you. I like talking fruit trees.
Okay, I do too. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, and thank you for the lovely segue. Well, there's another thing that you need to tattoo on my head, because normally the end of January is the beginning of fruit trees here at Millburgers.
February, pruning month.
All righty. Well, appreciate it again, David. 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. I want to remind you that we have 2 rodeo tomato events coming up, February 21st and February 28th. The first one will be here at Millburgers. The phone number to sign up for that class is 210-497-3760. 210-497-3760. The class for the 28th. Calvin, do you have the number for that class?
Yeah, 210-382-4455. 210-382-4455.
Appreciate it. And the number to call us here on the show, it's 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Before the break, we were talking about it's almost the time to start pruning trees, you said? Or?
No, a couple of things.
A couple of things. Pruning.
So pruning, we always prune in the winter time. The coldest months of the year, we like to prune all trees.
All trees, gotcha.
Particularly the oaks. We don't, generally we stop, we like to stop around March, but some of the communities around here have a prohibition that February 1st is when you stop doing that until July 1st. I think that's a little excessive. The research doesn't bear that out, but be that as it may. Worst time of pruning any tree is the spring, period. But what we like to tell everybody that fruit trees are coming in at the end of this month.
Okay.
So if you want your fruit tree seedlings, then
not seedlings.
Call it his. Seedlings, yeah.
Seedlings grow from seed. These are unrooted roots.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I stand corrected on that.
You certainly can tell he is a forester rather than a fruit grower.
So what do we call it when they come in? I know they're in containers.
Yeah.
Some of them are bare root. That's where I get that from. So bare root stuff. Well, they used to be.
Yeah,
not so much more. Not so much anymore. But what Calvin was referring to is a lot of times we like to start pruning our fruit trees, peaches and everything in the month of February as well.
Peaches are probably the one that gets most attention for pruning, but plums a little bit, apples a little bit, pears.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But peaches were the ones we always used to think about in February. That's time that we got to get going. We got to start planting. And this year, I think I would make sure I'm pruning in February.
Now we're folks. We talk about fruit trees. Had a gardener ask me how long they expect peach trees to live here, and gosh, I said, I told him not too long. You know, if you 7 years, you're feeling good if you get 7 years. Now in the hill country, you may get another 3 or 4 years out of it. But in our alkaline soil and erratic rainfall and the heat, this is not the best fruit growing area. But and we saw a lot of trees, peach fruit trees that took it on the chin this last summer because of the drought and the diseases. So don't expect your peaches to last forever. You take advantage. The good news is that when you get them in, like Mark described, in a container, that they'll produce almost that first year.
Right. So I just had to smile. It's like if you grew a fruit tree from seed, and then you planted it, and 9 years later you're going, look. It finally produced seed. And I finally go, great. Probably next year it's going to die.
Yeah. Bacterial.
But that's why we like to do grafted rice, because we can get almost immediate growth.
Bacterial canker is a disease that really takes them out. And if you're going to grow peach trees here, you generally want to have them on a raised bed. And you want drip irrigation.
Yep.
And that's one of the ways that you start using the irrigation early in the process, and then keep it going through the the summertime. This last summer was tough on fruit trees if you did not irrigate them.
No, you really needed to do that. That's I always make an exception for vegetables and fruit trees. I said, well, a lot of native plants don't need necessarily water. No, not vegetables, fruit trees. No, you need to have some type of irrigation system, whether it be manual or something in line.
We have to remind gardeners too. I think that even shade trees, when you're growing shade trees in a landscape, we're generally growing them closer together than they would. They don't compete in the out in nature. And you have some die every year.
Right. So I'd say 100 trees. How many are left after 100 years? Well, one. 99 are going to die. So, because that's very right. They're in competition with each other, and some are sacrificed for the remaining few.
Yeah, they're pretty savage to each other. Whichever one can make the best living from the limited soil and water that's available, those are the ones that survive. But if they're in a residential area and you got a sympathetic gardener taking care of them, then you get more of a chance that they're going to.
And a little dab will do you. A little bit of water in the summertime goes a long way for a native tree.
Especially if you're watching, you're sensitive to the need for water. You can sometimes discover, now is the time. I don't need the water when we have some of those big rains we had for 3 inches at an end of the month.
I wish they were spread out a little bit longer, but we'll take what we can take on that. I was kind of hoping it rained today. It had said yesterday or on Thursday. On Thursday, it said 35 to 40%. I went, ooh.
And it felt like rain all yesterday morning.
Absolutely.
It was pretty thick, as we used to say. You could cut it with a knife yesterday.
I think yesterday I had maybe one drop.
Yeah.
And that was
I had one. I had about that.
All right. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. We have Bert on the line. Bert, how are you doing?
Great. And it's not cold yet. I've been out in the yard in flip-flop, T-shirt, and shorts doing yard work before the noon hour before y'all come on. I'm like, this ain't cold. But
go ahead.
Mark, say again, Mark?
I say go ahead, Bert.
Hey, well, you know what came across was interesting in one of the studies in horticulture that I came across, and you all were talking about it at the start of the show, was mound gardening. I know out here in the Southwest, I've learned about it, where we're at in Texas, but I learned about it in New Mexico. It was the Three Sisters and mound plantings. And then the class of the Hugo craft, it's a Viking. I had forgotten about that for a long time. Have you ever heard of that, any of you all? Hugo craft? Hugo culture.
Yeah, and I don't know how to pronounce it because I pronounce it just like you pronounce it, but I think it's pronounced slightly differently.
It's Scandinavian. Yeah, there's a thing on it.
Yeah, Hugo. I don't know. Yeah,
it's supposed to be weird.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. I don't know. I don't like to wait that long for all that carbon, all that wood and brush to decompose. And so
I would get to
I'm going to explain it to Alex. They take some wood, some logs, and some brush and leaves, and then cover it with soil. It's like a big, long sausage in the soil in the garden, and it's supposed to decompose, and you plant in it, and it's like a self-sustaining ecosystem. Is it about right, Bert?
Yeah, that's what I was watching. The guy in Germany did it, and he got fined because he lived in the Alps, and at the end, after so many years, like you said, it's a venture it's an adventure in life, and you have to own the property you live on to do that type of culture gardening. But and in the end, he was growing citrus and all kind of tropical vegetations in the German Alps. And just like I said, it's a long-term venture. It's like owning a parrot. You know, if you think you own a parrot for like a couple of years, you're wrong. That parrot's with you for like 25 years. So.
No, I'm looking at Calvin. I'm going, Bert, this is just did say parrot, right? He just did. He went. He went there. He went to the parrot talk.
But yeah, it's just like I'm going to use sawdust. I'm going to get in touch with a tree trimmer, not sawdust, wood chips.
Okay.
And it's going to help speed up the process.
All right. Now the problem with wood chips. So we try to differentiate between compost and wood chips. So compost is completely decomposed organic matter, and it can go in the ground. Wood chips are partially decomposed or undecomposed organic matter, and when you put that in the soil, you will get a little nitrogen deficiency, or what we used to call nitrogen draft. And you need to put in nitrogen to accelerate the or actually maintain microorganism growth.
So that would be my kitchen scraps.
Yeah. Yeah, if they're high in nitrogen, so you wouldn't add paper. You try to get some green material in there.
Right. I'm tracking on that. So that's what I just have to just, again, look at a lawn service and see whoever catches up some grass clippings instead of blowing them down the drain. I'm working it out. It's just like life and having a garden. It's a works in progress, and I love it. So the only thing too is I hadn't heard from James. If James gets back on, and I know you said he's got a little operation, but if I'm able to support him and buy some of his produce and such, I'd be more than happy. I'd be privileged to do that.
All right. Well, hopefully James is listening.
Well, like I said, I got a couple of tree questions for you tomorrow. I'm working on it.
All right.
All right, y'all take care and have a prosperous year and happiness.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We have Dean on the line. Dean, how are we doing?
Oh, pretty good. I hear I have a bad connection. Can you hear me?
Yes, we could hear you.
Okay, got a question about wave petunias.
Wave petunias.
I just bought some 4-inch pots and transplanted them into much bigger pots, copious amounts of Osmocote. But when do I start worrying about the cold temperatures? What should I do?
What are we worrying about?
So they're wave petunias,
yeah.
And he's worried about cold temperatures, or should we actually worry about them?
Yeah, they're for petunias. They're surprisingly tough in cold weather, the waves. They're about in the same league as cyclamen. If you got about 28 degrees, then they, if it's convenient, you can cover them. And it's not too low. The temperatures aren't too low, and they'll make it through. I'm with you. That's what the wave is. One of my favorite petunias, and I've had great luck with the cold weather with them. But
they are a roof?
Yeah, they are sent. They're about in the same league as cyclamen.
Could I just put them under a roof, or take them into the garage, or what would you suggest?
Oh, are they in containers?
Yes, I put about 3-gallon containers, and I put copious amounts of Osmocote.
Oh yeah, if you can. Yeah, if any of those you could take, if you could take them in, they'll be in good shape then.
Just under a roof.
Yeah, I think I would also get a little like an insulator or blanket on top of them if it was really cold. But you don't have to put it under a roof.
Yeah.
So right next to under a roof next to the house, put a blanket on. But we're talking really cold here.
Yeah, no, if you... The good news is when they're in a container like that and they're generally flat, you can put that insulate over them and just wrap it around. That really does a good job, and they're much less sensitive to the cloth on them or weight on them than the cyclamen are even. So, yeah, I think if you got can put them under that roof and added that cloth there, that you're going to be in good shape.
Okay, what about some cuttings? I took quite a few cuttings too. Should I take that into the house?
What is
so you had the cuttings in what? In what kind? A container or?
Yeah, they're in containers, and I have a plastic covering over them.
Yeah, the cuttings are going to be more sensitive than the plant is. So if you can give them more protection, but in most cases, I think they'll survive with the same protection we were talking about for your plants.
Okay. Well, that's what I needed to know. Thank you very much.
All right.
Y'all have a good one.
You too. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Dean. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. We're going to take one more break. We'll be back with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Millburgers is located off of Loop 1604 on Bulverde Road. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Quick reminder, you have until January 16th to bring your Christmas trees to be recycled. You'll receive a 20% off coupon. That coupon is good until the end of February. Again, bring your Christmas trees to Millburgers to get recycled. Receive a 20% off coupon. That's good until the end of February.
And the article in the Express News this week had to do with the other wildlife. Then quite often we talk about the butterflies, and we will be talking more about that. We've got a number of classes scheduled, and we also talk a lot about the birds, but a lot of action, a lot of wildlife action, and the article covers deer and even coyotes and caracaras. That's a really interesting topic to a lot of folks. And then of course we mentioned the fox and the raccoons and the skunks. That all of them are pretty prominent in the San Antonio area and most neighborhoods. And you can, of course, a lot of us that are gardeners are also we're trying to maximize the success of our gardens and the plants, but also to maximize the wildlife habitat that we can provide. And relatively easy to do that. You know, you can have 12 months of color, and the 12 months of color, I think my column next week is going to be 12 months of color.
Good.
And you can also, the 12 months of color can be beautiful blooms, fragrant blooms, all kinds of different options and goals. But also wildlife habitat is one of those that we can accomplish with our gardens too. And there is some quite a bit. Well, there's some competition or conflict between the manicured versus the purely wildlife habitat landscape.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I would say wildlife. Just say natural. Maybe the natural landscape. trying to think of a better name for the wildlife.
Of course, the happy medium. There's some kind of moderate. You think of some of those tough modern roses or Mutabilis, that has got those beautiful blooms, and it's huge and makes a nice dense cover for the birds.
Yeah. Speaking of which, have you noticed that those are blooming around town?
The Mutabilis? They're spectacular.
Yeah.
The grandma's yellow is really attractive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just happened to notice the Mutabilis is like all around town is putting out a lot of flowers and some growth.
I never noticed that the flowers were, the Mutabilis, that Mrs. Dudley Cross is what I was thinking of. That's got kind of dual color too.
Yeah.
Kind of a cream color.
And which changes,
And the pink ones are not doing as well as the Grandma's Yellow and the Mrs. Dudley Cross and the Mutabilis. But all of those tough modern roses and old-fashioned roses are looking good right now.
Yeah, I just happened to notice it, and I was thinking about that as I drove over here today. I was like, those Mutabilis are looking pretty good. So when you mentioned that, I went, oh, yeah.
It's amazing because some years they'll bloom like 9 or 10 months out of the year, into the winter, just like this year. So, they're hard to beat. Oh, and Martha Gonzalez is blooming up a storm too. Tough. They're tough roses. They're the kind of plants that you can prune if there's the stems and your branches are in your way, but you don't have to prune. You don't really have to take any action to intervene to prevent pests. They just kind of deal with the pests themselves, and of course they're drought tolerant to do well, even with our heat and this erratic rainfall that we've had. So they're a worthy topic themselves.
I'm reaching over to my voluminous resource material just to think about all the ones we used to say. So we talked about Miss Dudley's Cross, Carefree Beauty, Mutabilis,
Belinda's Dream,
Martha Gonzalez,
Grandma's Yellow, and let's see.
See, Alex, I have this book, and I have these cue cards, these 5x7.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That you can, if you look through his library there, you know that he's an old timer because those are publications from the old days for sure.
I seem to have lost one where I talk about just the roses.
You mean you forgot one of the varieties, or?
Yeah, I was looking.
Oh, one of them. What is the one that they use that I kind of ignore all the time?
With the hips, the rose hips. That's the Carefree Beauty.
That's Carefree Beauty. Yeah. The rose hips on that are pretty exceptional. They're relatively large.
But
the thing that amazes me on those is that they produce the rose hips even when they're in full bloom. So you get both, and you can make your rose tea out of it, and provides food for the wildlife we're talking about. The birds like it. They have to kind of piece it because the hips are pretty big on that. Carefree Beauty. Have you found?
No, I didn't find it.
No luck on that?
No luck on that. But anyway, those are the ones we recommend. I think the ones we promoted vigorously in the past was Belinda's Dream. But there's a whole host of old-fashioned roses that I really like. people argue about names. Antique roses, old-fashioned roses, drought-tolerant roses, earth-kind roses.
Yeah.
I just go, old-fashioned. It's probably a good name.
Was Lady Banks rose what you were thinking of?
I
don't usually put them in that same
No,
league,
I don't put that one in there.
They only bloom for 2 or 3 weeks. But I do have a couple in my landscape. Boy, they're tough for sure.
Yeah.
But
those are the main ones.
But there are quite a long list. I think every gardener probably includes some of the ones that you and I include, Mark. But everybody also has a few other
There's
favorites.
one that I'll think of by tomorrow, but it's in that vein of Mrs. Dudley's Cross and Living Easy, and I can't think of it right now, but I'll have to do it. Look at it, but it's in that vein. It's I like pink flowers mostly, but the red ones are nice too, and the white ones are nice as well. But Mrs. Dudley, Martha Gonzalez's, I like that one.
Well, yeah, Martha Gonzalez is neat because it has a real value in the landscape too. It's I always think it's the ideal plant for like the sidewalks going up into the church or to the school.
Yeah,
keep everybody in the path.
The path of righteousness, and stay on the path. Don't get off the path.
And they're not savage. You won't bleed to death if you get off the sidewalk into the soil garden area there. But
you may tear a small hole in the pants. Yes, or skirt.
So, and that's another one that'll bloom for like 9 months.
Oh
yeah.
In fact, they're blooming right now.
Oh yeah.
In our selection here.
All those the same ones that you mentioned. The ones that aren't, the Belinda's Dream isn't blooming as much as the others, and either is both of your pink ones are not.
Yeah.
So, but they will be. I mean, and they were up until now. But gosh, like I mentioned, the Grandma's Yellow was pretty spectacular right now, along with your Metabolus and Mrs. Dudley Cross. Now that one doesn't have any thorns.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons. Nice, yeah. Defenseless, yes. Probably should have some. Probably not in an area where there's a lot of deer on that one.
Oh well, deer will eat all of them. Those thorns don't faze the deer.
Right. And so the solution Metabolus has is so it just grows more.
Yeah. Now you mentioned the deer. We did not emphasize the deer are mentioned a lot in the article today, but we didn't talk about them. But we'll talk about them tomorrow because they're a very important part of our landscape.
And there's I think you did mention it that there are plants you can use, which air quote theoretically are deer resistant.
Oh yeah,
in most neighborhoods.
Now there's some that are on some people's lists that I
was going to say
zinnias and things. I haven't had great luck. I guess if the deer don't have to eat them, they just have to walk over them to break them off. Whereas the vinca, the vinca don't break, and of course the iris don't break. There is a good list if you got access to it.
Absolutely. And I guess we'll talk about that tomorrow. But thank you again for being here with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. We'll see you tomorrow.